It took me an embarrassingly long time to figure this out, so please, if you enjoy the video, let me know. Hey everyone, this is Syntax, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to create a mechanic that allows you to gain health by emoting. Let's get into it. Now, is this the only way this can be done? Probably not. Is it the most efficient as well? Also probably not. And are there other designs? Probably. But this is the one that I came up with, and I guess if there are other ways you know how to do it, please let me know in the comment section. Now, if you remember a while back in like January or something, Epic had a game mode called Pickaxe Frenzy, and in that game mode there was this system, this mechanic, whatever you want to call it, that allowed you to heal while you were emoting. Everyone would be running in place, or you could do whatever emote you wanted to, and it would allow you to gain health over time by emoting. And with the help of the relatively new health power-up, this is now possible in creative. Anyway, for this design, you're going to need the relatively new health power-up, a mutator zone, a sequencer, and one trigger. And that's it. That's everything you need. Now, you do need those 4 base devices, but of course, you're probably going to have other mechanics in whatever maps you're making, and I have another mutator zone just to get the whole thing started, but we'll go over that right now. First thing you want to do is head to devices and grab your mutator zone, and you're going to want to take this and place it so that it encompasses the entire playing area of whatever map you're making. It'll be a little easier if you're making a box fight, because that's a super easy set defined area to encompass, but if you have more of an open world zone wars type map, you'll probably have to use more than one mutator zone, but just encompass the area in which the players can play. In this case, I just have this little 1x1 setup here with our mutator zone. Of course, if it's a box fights or zone wars, you're going to want to allow weapon fire and building. I turn the visibility off, of course, and then I have it just encompassing the area we're allowed to play. Make sure it can affect players, of course. I turn the visual effects off because they're extremely annoying in my opinion. Of course, you can have this set up however you need to have it set up, but the most important thing is that you are having it send a signal when the player emotes. So as you can see here, I have on player starts emoting, it transmits on 1, it transmits on 1, and you need to make sure that whatever channel it's sending on, it's disabling itself. So you can see on player starts emoting, transmit on 1, and then disable when receiving from 1. It is very important that it disables itself, and I'll explain why in just a little bit. And that's everything for the player encompassing mutator zone. Let's go on to the health power up. Now the thing with the health power up settings is that they are very specific, so make sure you follow closely, because if you change one thing about it, it probably won't work. So just follow closely. You can have this, of course, affect whatever you want, have it be health, shield, both, it doesn't really matter. Make sure the effect is a flat increase. Set it to flat increase. Now the effect magnitude is the amount of health the player is going to be gaining every set interval of time, so this can be whatever you need it to be. You could have it be 1, you could have it be 100, it really doesn't matter. The effect duration has to be set to instant. This is very important, or else it won't work, and I just show the visual effects on the player so the people around you can, of course, know you are healing. Disable effects on pickup, that doesn't really matter. The pickup radius also doesn't matter, just set it to on touch and make sure no one has access to this in the map, and time to respawn, just like effect duration, has to be instant. This is what allows all the players to heal simultaneously if they want to when they're emoting. Make sure this thing is spawning on the minigame start. I turn the audio off because it's really annoying, and make sure it just applies to the player, and of course, everyone can see the power up, but you'd probably turn the visibility off. I just did it so you guys can see what's happening. Now, in your mutator zone, whatever channel you had sending a signal by emoting in that mutator zone, you want to correspond that channel to pick up when receiving from on the health power up. So in this case, that is channel 1. So if you're starting to get it, you're going to emote, that's going to send a signal on channel 1, it's going to disable the mutator zone, and you're going to get however much health you allowed yourself to get. Now, for the last part, you need a sequencer and a trigger. Now, this is what makes the whole mechanic work, and this is, for some reason, what took me so long to figure out about this mechanic. The sequencer's role in all of this is what's determining how fast you are gaining health. I have it set up right now so that the sequencer fires and hits this trigger about every 1 second, but if you change this to be about 5 seconds, it'll give you health every 5 seconds. For those of you wondering what a 1 second interval looks like, it is tempo set to 20 and everything else set to 0.5, so that's about 1 second. Have the looping set to infinite because this mechanic is going to be running all game, and it's what allows the players to actually gain health. The zone direction doesn't matter, just have it send a pulse. I made the zone visible during games just so you guys can see what is happening, and everything else, make sure the damage level is set to none and activate on-game phase is set to none. In regards to the gaining health mechanic, that is now finished, but you want to have something that actually starts this sequencer, and I'll show you guys what I'm doing with that real quick. So as you can see, it starts when receiving from channel 3, and what I have is just a mutator zone that once you walk inside of it, it sends on channel 3 and then disables itself on channel 3. You can see that this says on player entering zone, it transmits on 3, and then it just disables itself, so it's gone for the entire game. You can have players players spawn into the map, and then they'll go into this mutator zone and then start the sequencer, and yeah, that's how that works. The only thing this mutator zone is here for is to start the sequencer so the mechanic works, but you can set it up and get it started however you need to. Now, of course, the last thing is this trigger here at the end of the sequencer. What this is doing is re-enabling the mutator zone that disables itself by you emoting. You can see that if I go to customize the channels on this mutator zone, it gets enabled when receiving from channel 4, and that is exactly what this trigger is on right here, is channel 4. Make sure you have triggered by sequencers turned on. This can trigger an infinite amount of times, and it sends every 1 second. There's no delay on it. Make sure it's visible in game so the sequencer can, of course, see it. Enabled on game start, and when triggered, it transmits on the channel that enables the mutator zone. And if you have set up everything correctly, your health gaining system should look something like this. So right now I have it set to 1 health, of course, so you can see that I'm actually gaining health. I'm going to go ahead and step inside this mutator zone here, and you're going to see that the sequencer has been started. Anyway, if we go ahead and step inside our little zone here and we start to emote, you're going to see that I will start to gain 5 health every second. It also doesn't matter what emote you're doing, you just have to be emoting, and you can see that my health is going up 5 every 1 second. You probably want to hide the power up so you don't see these visual effects in the map, but I just turned it on so you guys can see that it's just giving it to me and then instantly respawning. And of course, if you stop emoting, it will refrain from giving you health again, and of course if you start, then you can grab health. Now, what's actually happening is every time you emote, that power up is getting picked up, the mutator zone is getting disabled, and that sequencer is allowing for it to be re-enabled so you don't have to stop emoting and start again to get health. See, the problem is if you want to gain health from emoting and then continuously gain health from emoting, that mutator zone has to be updated in some way, so that's why it disables itself. So once you emote and continue emoting, once it gets re-enabled, it still gives you the health. So you emote, mutator zone gets disabled, the sequencer re-enables it. If you're still emoting, then it gets disabled again, you get more health, and then it gets re-enabled by the sequencer, and then you emote, disabled. I think you get it. But yeah, that's how to create a system that allows you to gain health by emoting. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, guys, there you have it. That is how you can create your very own mechanic that allows you to gain health by emoting. Please do use this inside your battle royale maps, inside your box fights maps. People will play it and be like, wait, what? I can actually get health back by emoting? That's so cool. I haven't seen any videos on this. There probably is some because it's a health power up, and who wouldn't think to make a video on this? But if there are other videos, hopefully this design is better or more efficient. And if it's not, then, well, I guess I just made it for no reason. But anyway, guys, aside from all that, I really do hope this video helped you out. And yeah, this has been Syntax. Later.